And how are you today? This is Al Baker from componentsofsuccess.com. Today we're going to go over 4 tips on how to get the most out of your marketing training, or how to stop being dazed and confused, running between gurus. How many revolutionary, must-have, cutting-edge, make you a freaking zillionaire or insider secrets courses or software or systems are floating around out there in the marketing ocean? 50, 100, thousands? Who knows? How does one sort out what to do when, and how does one profit from these and move forward in his study of the vital subject called marketing? I pose this question because I've seen too many would-be aspirants, friends of mine, other marketers squirming around and confused, and they've got 10 courses, they bought this and that and the other thing, and they haven't even really started to study them. They're confused. Thus, there's little or no progress, and they eventually fade out, and they quit or just putter along in a non-productive nowhere. Then, desperation sets in. There is a way out, though. I'm going to give you some key tips on how to properly utilize the very, very wealthy amount of training material available. The first step is know your subject. If you're in the subject of marketing, you better know what marketing means. I just from experience, I know people don't really know what the subject of marketing is. Now, Eben Pagan, I don't know if you know his name, but he's a very wise, and I say wise, and I'm serious about that. He's a very wise internet marketing guru, and he said, in answer to a question, what are the essential skills to create success? His first answer to the question was, know your language. That's where I get back to the definition of the word marketing. He was very much into getting a dictionary and clearing up the words you don't understand, even in a conversation with somebody. So I've provided a definition here. This applies to any business or any relationship, however big or small. Now, step 2 is you take your product and then you work backwards. So you have to understand and work out what your product is. Your company has either a service or a sign up to a multi-level marketing company or a product to sell, right? You have to work that out. You have to really understand what that is. Then, once you've worked out your product, you can visualize your sales funnel. What are the components that then make up the steps that then lead to that final result? Very important step. When you determine that, you can then determine which is the correct next step to take in study. So let's say you have determined you want to sign up to your MLM. Well, what are the steps to that? Then you can work out going the other way, going from the front end to the product, which is your next course, or which is your most important priority course. The next step, once you work that out, study from the viewpoint of application. How do I use this? Every single step of the way, there's some point of application from the material you're studying to your business. Then after that, once you've worked out, okay, so how does this apply? Then you say, step by step, you do those steps. You're going to get a course like, let's say, Magnetic Sponsoring Traffic Formula 2.0. He's going to tell you marketing research is your first step. Well, as he tells you about it, you do it. The next step he's going to say is, whatever the next step is, you walk it through step by step by step. Now the key thing is if you don't do this, you're going to have a foggy, heavy head. You're going to try and study through a fog because you haven't taken that first step and mastered it. Then, with a clear head and an understanding of that first step, be able to go to the second step. Okay? Once you master the second step, you've actually done it. It may not be perfect, but you've got an acceptable result on putting in that second step. Go to the third step. Don't leave that third step until you can do it. Then you go to the fourth step, step by step by step. When you lay all of this out, you get your product, you work backward through the sequence of steps that it takes to create that product. You can then gain the ability to debug your business. You'll know each step along the way of your production line, and it allows you to see where the I'm going to say the particle, the thing that travels along your production line. In most cases, it's a person on an internet line. He's going to go from step A to step B to step C. You can see where it bugs. Then you can debug your business. Very important step. So let's recap here. Step 1, know your language, know your subject. Go to a dictionary, go to an encyclopedia, read about the subject of generally about the subject of marketing or whatever you're into. This will allow you to see in courses and training and materials what's BS and what's real. Second step is you take your product and you work back to the beginning of your production line or your sales funnel. You'll then have a step-by-step layout of every single component in your machine. This will allow you to see where stops occur and you can debug things. Then you study from the viewpoint of how do I use this course to create my business? Match it up to real life. See which other people have applied similar materials. You might want to go to a big guy like a Donald Trump or a Bill Gates and see. In college, Bill Gates started out with an idea, and he had an idea of a product, and he laid out that production line of his, and he improved it over time, but he laid it out basically from his first idea. Step 4, then as you study it, you do it. Don't not do it. You never leave a point until you can do it to an acceptable level. To do otherwise will leave you unable to do the subject. You can't bypass the actions being taught and expect to get it. This will waste you every single penny you spend on training materials. So you get those steps in. All right. Now those are my 4 tips for today. This is Al Baker, the Attraction Marketing Troubleshooter at www.componentsofsuccess.com. See you later.